Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for Sunday, the 19th of June, 2016. Got some stuff to talk about out there today. Invest Area 94L down here in the Bay of Campeche. You might recall this was moving through the Caribbean Sea, and the National Hurricane Center was giving it a fairly low chance of developing, but they did mention that if it were to stay out over water more instead of come across like this, that it might have a better chance, and that is, in fact, what has happened. Now we're up to 70% likelihood that this will go on to become a tropical depression or a tropical storm. The main threat, of course, will be heavy rain for portions of eastern Mexico, and we have the hurricane hunters headed down there from Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi. They will check it out and give detailed information later this afternoon, presumably. I don't think those plans have changed. Looking at the satellite imagery, you can see that there is broad turning down here, low pressure area definitely present, but it's not very well organized. Upper level winds not exactly ideal. A lot of energy down there in the area, and that is represented on the Graphicast. You can see that. I like this graphic. It's kind of cool, sort of the old school way of looking at things. A simple map. You don't have all this other stuff just pointing out what they intended to. In this case, that the local area around the Bay of Campeche sees 8 to 10 feet, and there's quite a bit of petroleum interest down in this region, and we do have some fairly strong winds, and there's the low pressure area that's going to move in towards eastern Mexico over the next couple of days. But this gives you an idea as to where it's located, just kind of by itself without any other weather features on the map. I like that. Nice way to show it. The vorticity signature at 850 millibars, or about 5,000 feet in the atmosphere. Not too bad for a weak system like we have here. And, it's somewhat oblong shaped, but it's getting there. There's, as I showed you in the satellite picture, definite rotation. It is running out of time, though. It's got to get on with it if it's going to develop. And the model's indicating over the next 24 hours, that will pretty much be the window of opportunity for this system. Strength-wise, not much time over water, so the ramping up would be very short-lived to maybe tropical storm strength and then dying out very fast once it makes contact with the land, obviously. Water temperatures in this region, roughly in here, nice and warm, 29 degrees Celsius. So it's getting up there to the mid-80s, even the ocean heat content. Also fairly high in this region, getting towards the middle of the scale here, so it's respectable. So definitely a lot of fuel to work with, but the upper level winds just not ideal, as I was mentioning, and really not allowing the thing to congeal. I tell you what, if those upper level winds were weaker, this would probably ramp up fairly quickly. I did want to show you the GFS. Let me go back out to the start point here. This is where it is now. This is the initial condition at 850 millibars in the atmosphere. And again, it's not that well defined, but you can see it right down here, this energy at 5,000 feet in the atmosphere. Now, why isn't this going to come out and come up to Texas or Louisiana, for example, or over towards Florida? Well, you can kind of see, even in this map, if you look at the outline of some of these flags here, that overall the steering flow is such, with high pressure sitting out here at the mid and upper levels and down to the surface, really this is the only alleyway for this to go. We don't see any erosion of the ridge to where the stream flow turns and brings it up towards any other place. This time of year, that's fairly typical. Most systems that develop down in the Bay of Campeche usually stay there or somewhere nearby. It's, once in a while they'll pop out and head up towards the United States, but usually when they're developing this far south, they stay far south. So let's go through the time frame, and again, keep your eye on this energy down here. This is the initial conditions, and if we move on out to 24 hours into time, you see really not much change with it overall. Kind of elongated, makes landfall here just north of 20 degrees latitude in eastern Mexico. Rain is the biggest threat, and that shouldn't be underestimated there. Very heavy tropical rainfall over some areas where there can be some high terrain just inland is problematic. So, it's sort of pick your poison, right? It's not coming at you as a hurricane, but you need to watch for the potential for excessive rainfall. And folks down there they're kind of used to it, so hopefully they got the word out. And maybe they're using these apps, right? Hurricane Pro and HD, and they are staying on top of things. All right, well, that's it from me for today. I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. That's my website. And, of course, for Hurricane Pro and HD, have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.